Since Associated Press and CNN questioned the legitimacy and accuracy of the Hamas-controlled health ministry Gaza death statistics, and CNN stating that they cannot independently verify the number of Gaza deaths, how can Secretary Blinken justify trusting in these unverifiable death statistics since this Hamas-controlled health ministry never distinguishes between civilians and combatants, nor how Palestinians were killed, whether from Israeli airstrikes and artillery barrages or other means like errant Palestinian rocket fire? It describes all casualties as victims of Israeli aggression. I have follow-up.
When it comes to civilian casualties, any number above zero is one that is heartbreaking for us. And that is why at every trip and at every engagement with Israeli officials, at every engagement with regional partners, we have stressed the importance of steps being taken to minimize the impact on civilian casualties.
Okay, so do you see these questions, do you see these death statistics as really unreliable or unverifiable, as CNN and Associated Press talked about?
We've previously spoken to this. The health ministry has had a track record of inflating or inaccurately reporting on statistics before. But again, what I want the takeaway from here to be is that our viewpoint, the United States viewpoint, is that any number of civilian casualties, if that number exists above zero, is heartbreaking and unacceptable to us.
Well,
and more steps need to be taken to minimize the impact on civilians. Go ahead.
But can I just have a follow-up?
You got two questions. I'm going to work the room. Go ahead.
On the Gaza issue, in 2022, the U.S. filed a brief of intervention in Ukraine's case against Russia in the ICJ. Why are the circumstances different that the U.S. would not file such a brief or support South Africa in its action against Israel? What are the points of difference that the U.S. has decided on to adopt these very different positions?
Every conflict is different, and how and whether there is a ground to make a determination or not is based on specific facts and law. And again, in the case of genocide and this ongoing case in front of the ICJ, we believe that those claims are unfounded, and we believe that making such a claim needs to take place with such great care.
The claim is not exactly genocide is happening. The claim in the brief is that the potential for genocide is in place. The bar for genocide is exceedingly high, as you know, but also remembering that President Biden in 2022 described Russia's invasion of Ukraine as genocide. So he was very quick to make a determination, which something like the ICJ still has not made on that particular case. Isn't this all a bit too early to be saying that there are no grounds for the potential to genocide?
Every conflict is different, and every circumstance is different, and these kinds of determinations need to be made with a close look at the law and the facts. And these allegations that Israel is committing genocide are unfounded. That being said, we have been clear to Israel that they not only must comply with international humanitarian law in its operations against Hamas, but it needs to take all feasible steps to prevent civilian harm. Also, we have been clear with regional partners who have relationships or influence with Hamas that any step that they would be interested in taking to cease hostilities, to release hostages, to take steps away from their self-claimed goal of repeating October 7th again and again and again and again would be welcome as well.
Can I follow up on that? Secretary Blinken has specifically accused China of genocide for its treatment of the Uyghurs. But Blinken didn't point to any mass killing there. According to Euromed Monitor, 4% of the entire population of the Gaza Strip is now dead or injured. In just 90 days, 65,000 tons of munitions have been dropped on the Gaza Strip, 3 times what was dropped on Hiroshima. You have evidence of industrial-style killing. The South African legal team presented 20 minutes straight of statements on the record by Israeli leadership expressing the intent to commit genocide, for example, referring to the Palestinian population as Amalek. So how can you explain this discrepancy between Secretary Blinken accusing China explicitly of genocide with no mass killing, presenting no evidence of the mass killing of Uyghurs, and then dismissing out of hand the potential that Israel could be committing genocide in the Gaza Strip, calling it unfounded? How do you explain this discrepancy?
The same way that I just explained it to your colleague who asked essentially the same version of your question, which is that each conflict is different, and any kind of determination like this needs to be based on specific facts and law.